Straight ahead on WBKB News at 11. The Alpena County Fair hosted a day of fun at the fairgrounds with a bump and run event. Plus, Art in the Loft welcomed an oil painting instructor to teach a special technique to locals. And St. Rose of Lima Catholic Church heat things up with their third annual chili cook-off. We'll have those stories plus your local weather and sports. The news that affects you starts now.
From Rogers City to Tawas City and all points in between. This is Northeast Michigan's award-winning news team. We are your source for news, weather, and sports. We are WBKB News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Neil Liwanag. The Alpena County Fair Board is already planning for next year's county fair with a bump and run fundraiser at the Alpena County Fairgrounds. Today's recently cold weather did not stop the people in the community from enjoying a day of cars sliding and smashing along with a lot of mud flying. Attendees also witnessed some future bump and runners as the children brought their Power Wheels to participate in a Power Wheel race. The Bump and Run is one of many upcoming fundraisers in preparation for the Alpena County Fair, and the board is overwhelmed by the support from the community.
You know, we've had wonderful support from our area businesses, our county commissioners, our 4-H, everyone in Alpena just comes out. We have people as far as National City. We have people from Atlanta, Hillman. Everyone comes out and helps. It's wonderful.
The Fair Board is already planning a winter bump and run. The date of that event is yet to be determined. Art in the Loft welcomed oil painter instructor Larry Wires to teach people in the community on painting the Bob Ross technique. Bob Ross was known for his wet-on-wet oil painting, and Larry Wiles is a certified painter who thrives to preserve Ross's legacy through his teachings. Locals who attended the workshop got a chance to paint the northern lights of Alpena along with the first snowfall scene, which is appropriate for today as we experienced some snow earlier this morning. Wires lives in Texas but calls northern Michigan his home during the summer and fall, which gives him the opportunity to share his passion of painting with the people of Alpena.
Well, this is very rewarding for me because these people want to be here. They're excited about being here. I think I can help them. I'm passionate about it, and I think they leave here pleased with a painting they can be proud of. And it's quite fulfilling for me because I get to continue to teach.
To learn more about Larry oil painting classes and the Bob Ross technique, please visit larrysoilpaintingclasses.com. Now, I'm sure you woke up this morning and noticed a little bit of snow, and St. Rose of Lima Catholic Church warmed things up with their third annual chili cook-off. Numerous of people in the community participated in the event as they submitted their chili for locals to taste. Attendees were treated with varieties of chili, and they decided which one was the best. The winner of the chili cook-off received a $50 gift card and boxes of coffee. For only $10, people also got a chance to win several prizes through the raffle, and all the proceeds went to a good cause.
The money that we take in helps support local charities. Like I said earlier, the soup kitchen and the food pantries in town to help feed those who are less fortunate. That was our main goal in starting this, to help others.
St. Rose of Lima will be putting out food baskets out in the community for the Thanksgiving season. This morning, the Alpena County Library welcomed Michigan's Family Funny Man to host an extreme duct tape workshop. Local kids enjoy a day of fun in this hour-long workshop that consisted of creating a variety of ways to invent custom items with duct tape. Even parents and grandparents joined their kids to make belts, bracelets, and wallets. Attendees also got a chance to win prizes, and all the festivities were for free. Today's family event helped bring families closer together.
I love when an entire family group can go somewhere for free or cheap and everyone has fun. You know, mom and dad are getting into action and smiling and having fun. And of course, you know, brother and sister too. And that's what this is. You know, we have grandparents in there as well. They're with their grandkids. Everybody's having fun.
For more information regarding future family events with Joel, please visit extremeducttape.net. This afternoon, the residents and locals were treated with the first ever Fall Harvest Day at Turning Brook in Alpena. People in the community came out and joined the residents to celebrate the fall season. The day started off with a hobo lunch for all the residents at noon, and the fun followed right after. There were games for children, hot apple cider, hay rides, and people even got a chance to feed and pet a couple of goats. The family field event was free of charge, and Turning Brook hosted the fall harvest as a way to thank the community for their constant support.
Well, we wanted to offer things to give back to our community. They come in and they do many different activities with our residents, and we want to give back to them. So we've opened it up with the ID program from the Masonic Lodge, and just a fun day of enjoyment.
If you're interested in supporting the Turning Brook, please call 989-354-4200. Coming up next on WBKB News at 11, find out why a popular applesauce maker is recalling shipments. All that and more, next. Welcome back. In state news, federal safety investigators from Transport Canada have inspected the Ambassador Bridge in Detroit and instructed the city to keep roads and sidewalks under the bridge closed until further notice. The federal investigation came after the city said large chunks of concrete have been falling from the aging span, resulting in road closures under the base of the 85-year-old bridge. The city says bridge owners refused to allow their inspectors to touch the bridge to provide further inspection, thus the feds were called in. Transport Canada has authority over bridge safety. They are expected to issue a full report soon. The 7 investigators have learned that contractors inspect the bridge once a year. It's due for an inspection in 2 weeks. However, Canada spent in federal inspectors now in light of these developments. Windsor says more roads could be closed if concrete continues to fall. In your Money Watch, excessive drinking is taking a toll on the American economy. In a new report, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says that the cost in 2010 alone was $249 billion. That included $179 billion in lost worker productivity and another $28 billion spent on treating people with alcohol-related problems. Other costs include crimes and property damage. Applesauce maker Go-Go Squeeze has issued a voluntary recall. The popular children's brand said a production issue could cause the applesauce pouches to harbor fruit mold. The company is recalling shipments nationwide with a best before date between June 30, 2016 and July 26, 2016. Go-Go Squeeze's CEO says the mold poses no health risk but may have an unpleasant taste or smell. And nearly 2/3 of millennials say having no debt is their top priority. According to the latest USA Today Bank of America Better Money Habits poll, 41% are chronically stressed about their finances. Millennial money problems include not putting enough into savings and spending more than they should. If you're heading to the pump, GasBuddy.com and AAA of Michigan helped us find the highest and lowest gas prices locally and across the state. The lowest price for gas in Alpena is coming in at $2.25 at Meyer. The highest is $2.26 at Marathon. Across the state, the lowest price at the pump is $1.75 in Houghton Lake, and the highest price is coming in at $3.09 in Trenton. There's still much more to come on WBKB News at 11. Kyle Logan will be in with sports, and I'll be right back with your full weather forecast. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us. It is now time for a look at the weather. Today your high was at 45 degrees, your low was at 29 degrees. Normal high was 55, and your normal low was 36. Record highs back in 1953 was 86, and your record low back in 1977 was 22 degrees. Sunrise was at 7:52 a.m. and sunset at 6:46 p.m. Current conditions, it's currently 33 degrees out there, with a humidity of 88%. And looking at your current radar, you can see the clouds blanketing the state of Michigan, which leads us to tonight. You'll need a blanket to keep yourselves warm because we'll be expecting some more snow showers with temperatures at 29 degrees. Tomorrow, partly sunny with temperatures at 43 degrees. Tomorrow night, mostly clear and temperatures drop to 31 degrees. And now taking a look at our extended weather forecast. Monday, sunny with a chance of rain. Tuesday, partly sunny with highs in the upper 50s. Wednesday, we'll see another chance of showers. Then Thursday and Friday, partly sunny skies with highs at 54 degrees. And it's now time for today's photo of the day. Today's photo was sent in by Karen Swafford of Hubbard Lake. Now, this is a photo Karen took of a sparrow sitting outside her home. Check this little guy out, enjoying the first snow of the season. Thank you, Karen, for sending us this photo. If you have a photo you would like to send us, Email it along with a short description to news@wbkb11.com. In your Health Watch, women under 55 who've had a heart attack are less than likely than men to be prescribed heart attack prevention medication, or if they are, to fill the prescription. That's according to Canadian researchers who analyzed data from more than 12,000 heart attack patients. They say more attention should be given to younger women because they have much worse outcomes following a heart attack compared to men. New research finds taking vitamin D or calcium after colorectal polyps are removed does not prevent future polyps. The research conducted by 11 medical centers studied more than 2,000 patients who took the supplements after having polyps removed. 3 to 5 years later, screening showed additional polyps had developed in 43% of the patients. And patients with heart disease receive the same level of outpatient care from physician assistants and nurse practitioners as they do from doctors. That's according to a study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology. In national news, the last ever U.S. Airways flight departed from San Francisco International Airport this weekend. Flight 1939 left SFO for a return trip to Philadelphia. Andrea Borba has a story.
It's the boarding gate of your dreams with music, balloons, cake, and guys in funny hats inside Terminal 2 at San Francisco International. But it's all for the end of an era.
Tomorrow, all U.S. Airways flights will become American Airlines.
The merger between U.S. Airways and American Airlines becomes reality after Flight 1939, numbered for the year U.S. Airways began, lands in Philadelphia.
Change is the way of the world. And bittersweet, yeah, but more sweet than bitter.
Ed Kolodny, former CEO of U.S. Airways, was getting the rock star treatment from former employees who wanted one last picture with the boss before their company vanishes. There are 187 people taking the final flight from the city by the bay to the city of brotherly love. The waiting list to buckle up on the Airbus plane was over 1,000 people long.
Airlines pass into history. It's not a frequent occurrence.
Even non-employees wanted in on the moment, like 13-year-old Ethan Helofs from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Ethan and his mom took every leg of the flight today before walking down the jetway to Flight 1939 and eventually Philly.
It's not necessarily that U.S. Airways is my favorite airline. It's more about being part of history.
Sports is coming up next, and Kyle Logan is here with the preview. Kyle?
Neil, tonight in sports, the Alpena Flyers were looking to end the weekend on a good note. There was some high school volleyball to note, and a big day in college football. There was a pretty big rivalry in the Big Ten. To find out what went down, you have to come on back. Sports is next. For the Alpena Flyers, the return did not go as planned last night, falling to the Detroit Irish 6-3. The Flyers are 1-3 against Detroit so far this season, and tonight the goal was to turn the tables and get that 4th win of the season. The Detroit Fighting Irish in town to meet the Flyers 12 minutes in. The Fighting Irish strike first. Dakota Potter takes it around the back of the goalie, and finally he flips one up and over for the first goal of the game. The Flyers would respond though. Sergei Merzlo up the ice, slap shot off the goalie, then post and in. That ties this game up at 1. Same period, Nick Baranyai gets it to Merzlo, shot on goal, it stays in front, and Samuel Rumbles finds the back of the net to put his team up 1. After Detroit ties it, Flyers back at it, Merlot gets it to Rumbles again in front of the net, and he connects. Flyers lead 3-2. Move to the third period now, tied at 4. Detroit gets hot quick. Joseph Hayes off to the side, finds the back of the net with the quick shot. The Irish go up 5-4, and they would tack on 2 more to take this one 7-4. Afterwards, the coaches say the team needs to do a better job of helping out their goalie.
I think it's just our overall team defensive scheme. We need to really control the blue lines, offensive and defensive blue lines, get the pucks out, get the pucks in, keep the puck furthest away from our net. It's as simple as that.
The Flyers' record falls to 3-9 with the loss. No Sunday matchup for the Flyers this weekend. Eric Peterson and his crew will be back on the ice this upcoming Friday when they meet the Tri-City IceHawks. Some high school volleyball also taking place today. The Hillman Tigers competed in a tournament out at Indian Lakes. Here's a look at a few of those games. The Tigers got wins over the likes of East Jordan, Mansalona, and Engadine. They picked up losses against Joburg and Indian Lakes. Hillman walked away 5-7 on the day, and big performances came from Kaylin Torzinski. She finished with 56 digs and 36 kills, while Kristen Kenyon finished with 20 kills and 8 aces. And over in Tawas, there were a few local volleyball teams in action in a tournament hosted by the Braves. The Oscoda Owls finished the day 4-4 with wins over Hale, Ogama, and All Gray Sims. The Alcona Tigers finished pool play with wins over Hale, All Gray, Oscoda, and Ogama. They played in the championship game against Tawas, falling in 3 sets, which was the max. The Tigers saw good days from Kendra LaFave. She had 25 aces. Sierra Forsyth, 27 kills. Sam Zerp with 40 digs. Sydney Pierce had 18 blocks, and Kylie Elmer finished with 122 assists. Saturday means college football, and it's about time we get to it. There's a big rivalry we'll get to, I promise, but the first, the Eagles from Eastern Michigan were on the road against the undefeated and ranked Toledo Rockets. The Eagles in search of their second win of the season. Tall task, though. They went up 3-0 early, but that's the only lead they would have throughout. Toledo up 7-6 now. Philip Ely drops back, and he finds his big tight end, Michael Roberts. He stays on his feet and fights through a slew of defenders to reach pay dirt. The Rockets go up 14-6. Later in the second half, Rockets back up inside their own 5. Terry Swanson gets the call, breaks that tackle at the line of scrimmage. He bounces it outside, weaves through some traffic, and he's off to the races. He's going to go deep into Eagles territory before Ray Tillman brings him down inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. The next play, Kareem Hunt, he gets the carry and he takes it in from 4 yards out to make it 20-6 Rockets. Toledo was far from done. Their special teams even got in on the action. The Rockets stay undefeated and hand the Eagles their 6th loss of the season, 63-20, the final. And a couple more scores to report to you before getting to the big one. A couple of big wins for 2 in-state schools. First, the Broncos from Western Michigan went on the road to beat the Ohio Bobcats 49-14. Quarterback Zach Terrell threw 3 touchdowns, and running back Levante Bellamy rushed for 149 yards and 1 score. Western Michigan notched their 3rd win of the season. And the Chippewas of Central Michigan hosted Buffalo and walked away with their 3rd win of the season thanks to a dominant 51-14 win. CM totaled 463 yards on the day, 313 through the air, and they'll look for their 4th win next week against Ball State. The time has come, one of the most anticipated games of the day, Michigan and Michigan State, the battle for the Paul Bunyan Trophy. College Game Day's crew was there, and all eyes were on this Big Ten matchup. Jim Harbaugh versus Mark D'Antonio, big crowd in the Big House this afternoon. Both defenses were hot early, scoreless after 1. First play of the second quarter, Michigan already in state territory. Jake Rudock with the play action. He rolls out and eventually finds J.U. Chesson inside the 10-yard line. A couple plays later, Sione Homa takes it in from 2 yards out, and Big Blue is on the board first. Now 8 minutes left, Sparty with good field position. Interesting play here. Connor Cook takes the carry up the middle. He slides, takes a couple hard hits, and the Wolverines' captain, linebacker Joe Bolden, called for targeting. He's ejected, and that's an extra 15 yards. The next play, L.J. Scott, he gets the handoff, and he's going to take it right side here through a hole and through a couple of defenders as well. He scores, and we are tied. Michigan would add a field goal, and it was 10-7 going into the locker room. Move to the 4th quarter now, Michigan leading 23-21. They're looking to punt so their defense can finish it off. Unfortunately, the punter mishandles the snap. The ball bounces right to Jalen Watts-Jackson, and he returns it 38 yards to pay dirt. The Big House, along with Jim Harbaugh, is stunned, and Michigan State stays undefeated. They walk away with the victory, 27-23. So, Neil, tough loss there. Also, the Detroit Red Wings, they were in action tonight. They went up north to play the Montreal Canadiens, and they got their 2nd straight loss. The Canadiens won this one 4-1. They stay undefeated. Canadiens put 3 goals in the 3rd period to take it 4-1. Dylan Larkin, the lone goal for Detroit. But, Neil, back to that loss. I know you're very heartbroken about that. Still, Michigan played really well. Michigan State stays undefeated. But, that's not the last we're going to see from Michigan. They still have a really big matchup that I'm sure they want to take care of in Ohio State.
Absolutely. Like I said, it's a process for Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines, and it was a close game. It was a good game, wasn't it?
It was. Very exciting.
And it was an exciting game, and again, Michigan it was a big disappointment at the Big House.
But they'll move on next week.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, Sam.
Coming up next on WBKB News at 11, we'll tell you why this New York mansion is being transformed into a frightening world of pumpkins. Find out next. Welcome back. Halloween is just around the corner and New York is already celebrating. Here's the story.
From the ghoulish to the playful. Van Cortlandt Manor, which dates back to the early 1700s, has been transformed into a frightening world of thousands of carved pumpkins. Each is part of a spooky display. There are the dragons, the grandfather clock, and the cats.
Sometimes an idea is inspired by the history of this place.
Michael Nattiello is the creative director of the Great Jack-O-Lantern Blaze, which is in its 11th year and a favorite for both young.
They were changing lights with the music, so that when the music changed the tone, the lights would change.
And young in spirit.
You never lose it, even as an adult. You don't lose that spirit. You know, the holiday spirit.
The artistic director says volunteers are carving 1,000 new pumpkins every week. About 4,000 people are coming here every night to see displays like this. Everyone has their favorites.
I think the snakes that are all made out of pumpkins.
The snakes are down the path from the ghost train and the pumpkin planetarium.
We've had unprecedented demand this year, and we were actually entirely sold out, and we just added some additional time slots for dates through late October all the way through the middle of November.
Welcome news for those worried they might miss out on a good scare.
That's interesting. That's a lot of pumpkins and people getting ready for Halloween season, right?
No, it really is. I mean, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication to be able to put something like that on. I think you can kind of compare it slightly to what a lot of houses do for Christmas. A lot of families like to drive around and see the Christmas lights. Those are kind of the same effects. You can go drive around and see all the decorations, see what kind of hard work that people put in. A lot of great carving skills certainly put in there. So I think, you know, that's something that helps create a lot of buzz around the city. You help, and you want to go out and look at those type of things, and Halloween's certainly a holiday that a lot of people like to celebrate, and that really shows there.
You gotta love Halloween and Christmas. You can be so artistic with little things like pumpkins and just different things like that.
No, very true. And remember, you can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online.
Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
Or add us on Facebook at facebook.com/WBKBTV.
Well, that will do it for tonight's show. Catch us tomorrow night at 11. Good night, everybody.